Hey BYU School of Music faculty, this is a video you have long anticipated. It's a brief tutorial on the faculty profile system. Actually, I hope that I can share some tips that will make this process easier each year that might be informative for our new faculty, and in video format you can go back and reference whichever parts are helpful to you anytime you need to. So here's my presentation that I will make as exciting as I possibly can. The faculty profile system. You can tell from this exciting background that this is going to be a treat. In actuality, in all of my years using the faculty profile system and from serving on several committees where we also use the information in the faculty profile system, I have come up with some tricks and some errors that I made that I would like to share with you so that in the long run, this system really serves you, the faculty. First of all, you can access the faculty profile system from your My BYU page, from the Faculty Center page, or straight from facultyprofile.byu.edu. Now, in my first years at BYU, this faculty profile system wasn't really used for anything. Supposedly, administration looked at it, and maybe something was used for accreditation, but mostly it just felt like a waste of time inputting all of our information. However, now reports are run annually to assist with the annual stewardship interview. And whenever a dossier is prepared for review, there are a number of reports that are run, and possibly still for accreditation and things like that. I thought I had a really good system down that I could maintain every year. And I would do this with one general heading and then just add to it each year, such as a senior recital. And I could just add the students who I juried their senior recital, or students I mentored for the opera. Each year, I would just add more students under that heading, and it seemed rather nifty. I could also do this for citizenship activities that happened repeatedly, such as soloist for university events. I would leave an open end date on the bottom, and I would just add various entries in the description. Well, this worked really great for a dossier because there are a number of years included in a report for a dossier. And then I could just delete the names, as you see in this grid here, that I could just delete the years that were not applicable for that dossier. However, for the ASI, this system was confusing because the report was populated with activities for all of my years and not just the year in review. Any entry without an end date would appear on this annual report. So I needed to be sure that I went back and put in end dates to activities that are completed. I also learned from viewing a number of dossiers when I was serving on the college rank and status committee that descriptions, or a lack thereof, made a big difference in the committee understanding what was done. In this report generated for a dossier, this table is basically useless because there is little information. The reviewers can't actually make a call on the type of work done because they can't see what activities were involved. So make sure to use your descriptions, include your actual responsibilities and activities that were required and the amount of work that you performed on your various activities. So how do I know what will be seen on these reports? Well, this is something I learned last year when I served on the peer review committee. There are a number of reports that can be run. On this main page, you'll see in the top right corner, Rapid Reports. When you click on Rapid Reports, there is a drop-down menu with a plethora of various forms of reports that can be run. For a dossier, you would just indicate according to your title page. You can see by the entries in red, it tells you exactly which reports to run. Faculty profile system. Number 2, teaching, directed student learning, abbreviated detail. Or on the table of contents for your dossier, it also indicates in red which reports you will run from the faculty profile system, or FPS. Most of these reports will come out in table format, as I've shown before. Now for the annual stewardship interview, the report you're going to choose is Annual Activity Report Vita. You input the current year for the date range. I don't know why, but that's how it works. So by putting in 2020 to 2020, I'm actually going to get all of my activities for 2019. That's how it is. Just do it that way. And then you can run the report. Your report will look something like this. You can see the year of the stewardship interview is highlighted, and then the activities are the correct activities that were input at this point. Now I'm going to show you the actual report and some tips that have helped me. Okay, this is the document that is your actual report that the peer review committee will see to evaluate your year's activities. Some information will be put in for you, like the number of classes that you teach and all of that information. But I want to scroll down to directed student learning. This was really helpful for me to see what my colleagues saw and to see if it represented me accurately. What you see here is inaccurate. This is one of those instances where I had an open-end date, and therefore everything I had input, in this case from 2013 to 2019, or 2007 to the present, showed up. And as I mentioned before, this is great for a dossier. It will come out in a table form, and you can delete what you need. But this was actually kind of a mess for an annual stewardship interview. So what am I going to do? Well, firstly, I'm going to go back into all of those activities that have finished or that include a lot of years and put an end date on it. And in this case, it'll be the end date of 2019. For ongoing activities, such as a committee you're serving on for multiple years or a project that is still underway, you can leave the end date open until it is completed. And then I'll go back and enter each of these items. In this case, it's teaching, a senior capstone project, a music education recital. I'll enter them for the year that is under review. Now, this still works for the dossier because when you put a range of dates in for your dossier reports, all of your reports with the dates, the start and end dates in those years will come up. So by just putting in the 2020 recitals that I served on the jury committee or that I mentored in some way, I'll still get all of that in my dossier report, but I will only get those entries applicable to the year in review, 2020 in this case. I know what you're thinking. This is more work. How am I going to remember all of these things to put in? So this is what I'm going to try. Any place that I've highlighted in green, and that is activity or a specific entry and a description, I'm going to copy and paste into a new document for reference annually, so that I know when I come to directed student learning, I can remember each of these entries and enter the student information that I need. Hopefully this saves me some time each year, because then I will remember what I normally input, and I will be able to just cut and paste for speed and consistency. Now, if you're really organized, you can make notes on this document throughout the year. You could go in and list the students that might fit that entry, or whatever else you might want to add. I don't know that I'm going to be that good, but I am going to try to have this document available each year to help me cut and paste. Now, for what to list in each category, I would suggest that you ask your colleagues in your area, in your discipline, for advice, especially for activities that are discipline specific. You may ask how to notate your activities or how to describe your responsibilities, and work with your colleagues to know exactly what to do. So here are some pointers. In teaching, recognize that any student mentoring or student accomplishments should be included in some way. Your student wins a national competition, put it in here in directing student learning, directed student learning, because that is your work also. In scholarship, any scholarship or creative works that meet our School of Music criteria for peer review should indicate peer review at the appropriate drop down. And you can refer to the School of Music rank and status document for those criteria that indicate peer review. But we want to make sure that those that see it recognize the amount and extent of the peer review that we are receiving in the School of Music. And in citizenship, fill in those descriptions with details so that your service is accurately depicted. Now, for those brand new to the faculty profile system, make sure that you work through each section or item listed. Some of those are populated for you, but from the top with personal information all the way down to the bottom, the annual review section. And that includes uploading your CV and the conflict of interest statements. Just go through each of those little buttons and make sure that you've included what information you can. I hope this helps clear up some information and perceptions about the faculty profile system. I hope that these tips are helpful. I especially hope that this process can make it easier each year. And I urge each faculty member to run their own annual report, Vita format, after you have made all your faculty profile system entries, and be sure that what is seen by your peer review committee represents all of the stellar work that you are doing. Perhaps this year in 2020, when things have been a little bit slower, we'll have a little more time to update our past entries, put on end dates if we need to, and start our annual checklist to make it easier for us in the future. Thanks for watching. Keep being amazing, and make sure we know about it. Good luck.